Hey guys, it's Jaggle. Welcome back to my channel, and guess what guys, we did it! Our YouTube partner application was approved. We made it! We made it after all this time and all these years. Finally, we're a partner. So I just wanted to take a second before I get in this video and say, just from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much guys, really. I honestly don't even know what to say. I've been making content for 3 years. I started streaming in this YouTube channel with a game called Rocket League. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but it's like soccer with cars, but that's besides the point. And no one watched me. Literally no one. I've tried all kinds of things on my stream and on this channel to gain traction and viewership, and Final Fantasy has, as I say, always been the love of my life, so it makes sense that we would come full circle and it would just become a Final Fantasy YouTube channel, and this is what would get us there. So thank you so much, you guys. Anyone who's been supporting me over the last couple years, even when I wasn't playing Final Fantasy, or people that are here just because they like Final Fantasy, thank you to all of you. This is seriously like life-changing for me. So thank you so much, everybody. I'm so excited, and I feel so thankful to have like such a great community behind me, supporting me and giving the videos viewership. And I look forward to many more years of Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts content. So thank you. Today, we're gonna be talking about a video that is something I've struggled with for quite some time. And that's what healer I'm gonna play in Endwalker. And the reason why I've struggled with this is because, if you guys didn't know, your boy is an Astrologian main. I play Shield Astro in my Savage tier. I did Uwu as a Shield Astro. I absolutely love playing Shield Astro. It is my favorite job in the game. I think it's the most fun healer to play. I love that Astro can switch between Shield and Regen to fit whatever role is needed. However, our lovely developers over at Square Enix decided that it was time for a healer meta shift. And now, there's no more shields on Astro. I've heard some people talking that they're gonna run like White Mage Astro comps and Endwalker, and I don't think people really understand like what is going on with the meta shift. So I just want to take a second to talk about it. Basically, they want the healers to be split into 2 camps now, one for regen and one for shielding. Our regen or pure healers are going to be White Mage and Astro. That means White Mage is losing our Astrologian, is losing Nocturnal Sect entirely. So the new healer metas will either be White Mage, Scholar, White Mage, Stage, Astro, Scholar, Astro, Stage. That's it. There's no other way around it. If you're gonna play on a serious level, you need a shield healer and you need a pure healer. That's it. So I have wrestled with the decision of if I want to play a regen healer or a shield healer, and I gotta tell you guys, I'm just not a fan of regen healing. It's not for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I think White Mage is plenty fun, and I don't think the Astro changes are bad. I think Astro's looking very, very strong in Endwalker. I think Divination being a set 6% on a 2-minute cooldown is insane. I think Astro's utility for the raid is going to get better. I think their damage is going to get better. I think Astro is going to be better for your raid group. It's just not going to be better for me personally, because I like to shield. So today, I just wanted to kind of talk about the healer metas, what I think about them, and what I'm going to play in Endwalker. So, we know that Scholar is gaining a shield buff, so that makes them look really good, because Scholar has chain stratagem, whereas Sage has no real raid-wide utility other than the fact that it has really good shields, and it should pump damage based on what we've seen on how it heals through doing DPS. So it does look like Sage is going to be a little bit more busy healer, so that is something that we're going to have to contend with. But I think once you get the hang of Sage, it's going to be really, really fun. So, as you guys know, I'm a shield main. I love shielding, but I love Astro, man. Astro is so near and dear to my heart. I've been through everything with Astro. I played through a lot of the story on Astro. I cleared my first raid tier on Astro. I cleared my first ultimate on Astro. It's my favorite job in the game, but all good things must come to an end, guys. So, without further ado, I present to you my main for Endwalker. It's Sage, guys. I'm gonna be a Sage main, and I really wanted to take a look at like some Sage gameplay or some things about Sage. However, I wasn't invited to the media tour, so I haven't had a chance to get hands-on with it. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna take a look at one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. Got to go to the Endwalker media tour, and that's Larryzaur. So today we're gonna take a look at his video. If you've never watched Larryzaur, I'll put a link to this video and his channel in the description below. Let me tell you guys, he's awesome. He's a bit of a memer, but let me tell you, look deeper, because the information that he gives is actually super good and easy to digest. Whether you're new to Final Fantasy or a veteran, you can definitely enjoy the content coming from Larryzaur's channel. Let's take a look at his Sage video.
Charlayan must be like one of those non-conflict nations in Gundam, you know, that secretly develop the most advanced Gundams, because Sage is a lot like that. This is Sage's job gear. I think it looks pretty snazzy. Reminds me of something Alphino would wear. And here's the sprint animation. The way the Nulas follow you around is so freaking cool. And I have a sneaking suspicion that we're gonna see a bunch of Sages running around in Endwalker. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially. Since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs, I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look. Let's start with the most important thing about any healer. How to DPS. Sage's single target spell is called Dosis. It's a bunch of laser beams. Then there's also this special ability called Eucrasia that augments certain spells, and Dosis is one of them. So when you activate Eucrasia, Dosis changes into a dot that's instant cast and lasts 30 seconds.
So basically, I don't know if this is going to be on top of their standard dot like all the other healers have, or if this is how we have to cast the dot. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I didn't get to get hands-on. So that will be interesting to see. But I also like that they have Eucrasia to like augment. So basically, Eucrasia just turns your AoE heal or your regular heal into like your shielded heal. Basically, if you were Astro, it would turn Helios into aspected heal. So you have to, there's an extra step to gaining your shield ability.
Then for AoE damage, you've got a spammable Dyscrasia, which is a point-blank AoE around you. Then there's Phlegma, a 510 potency targeted instant AoE with 2 charges. Sage also has its own version of a
First of all, Phlegma
is called Numa, a 330 potency line AoE that also heals everybody around you and
This is actually awesome. It's like a size but a line AoE. If you guys know anything about playing a healer or doing DPS as a healer, White Mage's a size is absolutely bonkers. So it's really nice to see another job get something good like that, especially a shield healer.
Reduces their damage taken by 10% for 20 seconds. What the? And if that's not all, there's one more AoE
shields,
called Toxicon, and that's a Decepticon normally. Targeted instant AoE. This one costs a resource called Adder Sting, which you can hold up to 3 of. You get an Adder.
So if you guys aren't aware, the Adder Sting and what he's talking about are going to be the 3 little charges on the job gauge here. Those are what he's spending as that resource. So it does have like a little builder spender element to it.
Sting from your single target shield being broken. More on that later. Now for Sage's heals. Actually, I kind of also just said what the heals were, since all of those DPS spells will heal also. You could put Cardia on a single target and all of your DPS spells will do a 170 potency heal to them automatically. You can even double this potency for 10 seconds with Soteria. But okay, I'll go over the actual healer spells if you must know. Sage's base single target heal is called Diagnosis, and its AoE heal is called Prognosis. Well, remember that ability Eucrasia for changing your DPS?
I like the kind of like doctor theme. It's pretty cool. Also, guys, I don't know if you know this, but I'm really into like the Sage lore, the Charlayan lore. If you guys didn't know, I have a video that I did on Sage lore. I'll put a link to that in the description below too if you want to check that out. It's not long. It's just a real quick breakdown of where the Sages come from and why they're in our world now.
spell into a dot? Well, it works on these too. When you activate Eucrasia, Diagnosis and Prognosis will change into their shield versions and their instant cast. And the shield
So
from
again,
Diagnosis
Eucrasia
is the
has
one
to be
that will
activated
grant
to
you an
shield.
adder sting if it breaks. But what about shields that you put on people that aren't gonna be used up? Well, you've got Pepsi for that. I mean Pepsis. It will eat up the shields from Diagnosis and Prognosis and turn them into an instant heal. And you can do this every 15 seconds. Actually, I haven't even talked about the gauge yet, have I? It has a gauge. It automatically fills up every 20 seconds. The resource that you get is called Adder's Gall, and they are used to cast certain instant heals. Those are as follows. Druo Coal. This is basically Sage's Lustrate. It's 600 potency off global. Ixocoal. Basically Sage's Indom, 400 potency AoE off global. And Caracol, basically Sage's Sacred Soil, reduces damage by 10% for 15 seconds and gives everybody regen. And Torocol, this is basically Sage's, wait, this is a new one, 600 potency off global with a damage reduction. And by the way, all of those will restore your MP a bit. So that's it for the Adder's Gall heals. Then you've got normal instant heals that are just on a normal cooldown. There's Physis. It's an AoE regen for 21 seconds on a minute cooldown. And Physis 2, which is a beefier Physis.
So the reason why I'm choosing Sage is, as you can see, it has a whole lot of healing utility, which I think is super important. That's what has me most interested about playing Sage. A lot of healing utility with this job, and the ability to do DPS and heal at the same time, I think is going to be huge. I think it's going to be able to do a lot of damage.
That will also increase your healing spells by 10%. This is on a 3-minute cooldown. Holos is a 300 potency AoE heal on a 1-minute cooldown, and it looks freaking cool. Then there's 2 interesting shield cooldowns, Haima and Panhaima. Haima is the single target version. It'll put 5 stacks of a shield
Oh my
on
god,
a
it looks
person,
so awesome.
and every time damage is dealt, it will eat up the stacks of the barrier and apply a new barrier. And then whatever is left at the end of the timer will trigger a heal for each stack remaining. And then Panhaima is the same thing, just for AoE. Very interesting. And if that wasn't enough, you've got some other utility abilities as well. There's Icarus, of course. It's the Gundam Wings gap closer on a healer, probably because of the point blank AoEs. There's Zoe. It doubles the amount cured by your next healing spell. There's Rizomata, which just gives you 1 stack of Adder's Gall, the blue one. And finally, there's Krasis. It increases your healing magic on everybody by 20%. Notice that there's no DPS utility for Sage. This means that Scholar still has a fighting chance. And that is everything. But either way, Sage is looking really cool. Of course, I didn't have any endgame content to try it out in. All I can really do is read the tooltips and cast the spells. But just looking at its kit and seeing how it fits in with the other healers, I think it's...
Alright, so now that we've taken a look at Sage here and you guys have kind of seen some of it, I hope that helps kind of shed some light as to what you're going to choose for your healer and Endwalker. I think the biggest thing is just communicating with your other healer as to who wants to regen and who wants to shield. And I'm going to be completely honest, guys. I have full intentions on leveling Sage immediately as soon as Endwalker comes out, and then doing White Mage next right after. So I think that if you're going to be a healer main, it doesn't hurt to have a shield and a regen healer, and those are the 2 that I've chosen to go with. Let me know in the comments below which ones you guys are going with, and what other jobs you're excited for with Endwalker. Thanks again, guys, for helping me get to partner, and thanks for coming by and watching this video. I hope you guys have an awesome day.
Really, it's just living its best life.